Yo guys, welcome back. So, I am just making my pre-workout meal, which is cream of rice because it's leg day, so I need plenty of carbs for getting this workout in, making sure I don't crash, making sure I don't lift heavy. But I also wanted to speak about how I deal with cravings. Where can I put you? How I deal with cravings while cutting, because cutting is hard, it's difficult, and you need to be able to manage it in some way. So what are the tips, what are the tricks I use to help me cut? Now, the most important thing, I believe, 2 seconds, while in a deficit, is making sure every single meal you have is absolutely packed with fibre. Fibre bulks food up, makes it take slower in your digestion, and any food that has more fibre in it is going to be more filling than a version that doesn't have as much fibre. So say you have Greek yogurt and you add chia seeds to it. Well, that's now automatically going to make that food feel more filling in your stomach. You're going to be more satisfied. So I use that approach with everything. How can I get fibre into things? Can I add fruit? Can I have fruit on the side? Can I have berries? Can I have a salad? Can I add vegetables? All of that is going to make your meals more voluminous, take longer to eat, but you're also going to feel much more full from it. So that's number one. Making sure you get good meal timings is number 2. So having 3 large meals a day probably isn't going to keep you full. You're probably really going to struggle with that. You probably want to do what I do, where I have 3 meals plus 2 to 3 snacks. So the way I look at it is breakfast, lunch, dinner, then I want a pre-workout meal, then I want an evening snack, and something to save in case I get a sweet tooth. And that sweet tooth is usually fruit. I usually just snack on fruit, like easy to peel. Easy peels are phenomenal. I eat these, super low calories, super filling. You can eat a bunch of them in the low calorie. Grapes or any berries or things like that can be really helpful as a snack. But if you eat more regularly, you probably find that you've got less windows of hunger, so you probably find that much easier than just having larger meals. From there, I very much think, as you can see on top of the fridge, diluting juice. Low calorie diluting juices, we've got 3 here. Cherry and berries, summer fruits and apple. Something literally to put a flavour in your mouth to drink on. Drinking can help quench hunger, but just something to give you flavour I think is really helpful between meals, to stop you wanting to eat anything, or to let you hold off until your next meal. On that, I think chewing gum is really helpful. I think literally just flavoured chewing gum, again, gives you something to chew on, removes some boredom, and gives you some like sweety flavour without adding any calories into your day. It makes it so much easier when you've got just flavour in your mouth. Maybe it's an hour or 2 to your next meal. Just being able to have a couple of bits of chewing gum definitely does help me. From there, I think drinking plenty of other liquids with diluting juice, like coffee, tea, 0-calorie sodas, energy drinks, all of that is going to help. Just give you something to get rid of boredom, but also the caffeinated drinks. Caffeine is an appetite suppressant, so that really helps. That kind of quenches hunger for a wee bit. And once you've had that thing, you might not be as hungry as the next, or as you would have been. On that, if I'm really struggling and really in a deficit, nicotine gum can really help. So nicotine, also an appetite suppressant. It's also good for your brain, and in the form of taking it as a gum, There's not any health risks that you get from smoking a cigarette or vaping. It doesn't cause cancer or impact your lungs or anything like that. It's a very safe way of nicotine delivery. It's not the most enjoyable. It kind of burns. It's like hot. But it's a way of getting nicotine, suppress your appetite, allow you to continue on until you get your next feed in. From there, I think it's largely a mentality that then really helps. When you're cutting, you probably can't have the foods you really want. That obviously makes a lot of sense. But you can still have some flavour. You will hit flavour fatigue. And you need to just enjoy fueling yourself with good quality food. Really enjoy having your eggs. Really enjoy having your steak and your chicken and your vegetables. Enjoy it because it's the right thing to do. Enjoy it because you're fueling yourself to succeed, to be healthy, to be fit. All of these things. So get in the mindset of just enjoying those foods. But then on the other side of that, if you can make food more flavourful, do it. Season the shit out of everything. If you're having chicken, season it. Season it as well as you can. If you find sauces helpful, have low calorie sauces. Make it work. Hot sauce is incredibly low calorie. I love it with eggs. And it doesn't really have anything bad in it for you. It can only help you feel more flavour, make things tastier, and help you get further. Other sauces like ketchup, low calorie low sugar ketchup, making alternatives for like a low fat mayonnaise. All of these things can help you get by if you're really in search of flavour, without fucking up in your diet. Without going, I'm starving, I want a KFC, I'm going to go eat 3,000 calories of KFC. I also think, on the mentality note, that when cravings do hit, the idea of a takeaway is better than the takeaway itself. How many times have you really wanted a KFC or McDonald's and you are really excited, you have it and it's fucking bland, it's like not good? Your cravings largely are going to feel better in your head than they actually feel in real life. So just try and understand that your brain's going to try to play tricks on you, and you just can't let it. You just have to be rational and rational thinking, because like the idea of a takeaway is far better than a takeaway, and I genuinely believe that. And I think that's something that helps me just not want takeaways or shit food, because it's going to be a letdown. It's not going to taste as good as you think. Your brain always kind of overplays it because it has dopamine attached to it, or it has memories attached to it. Like I get a trigger or craving trigger every time I go to the beach for a chippy, because it's built into my childhood that when you go to the beach, you go to the chippy. But then the times as an adult I've had a chippy and I actually enjoyed it, was very, very, very few. I've never actually gone, oh, that was an amazing chippy. It's all just average. That really helps as well. Just knowing that your brain is going to play tricks on you, and that you can't let it. You can't crave. You can't be a pussy. You can't let your brain trick you into doing something that you don't actually want to do because you've got a bigger, larger goal. From there, I do really like having a sweet treat in the evening times, because it then allows me to go through the whole day knowing I've got something sweet at dinner. So in the past, I would use like jelly. I would make a dessert out of jelly and Greek yogurt and mix that together and let it sit in the fridge, and it makes this like voluminous jelly that you can add fruit to, that you know at the end of the day you can have, and it's super sweet. Now I've got this bad boy, which is a Ninja Creamy, which means that every single day right now I am eating a tub of ice cream, which is just milk, protein powder, salt, flavour drops, which are 0 calories, and a wee bit of xanthan gum. So in this, it's under 300 calories, and it turns into like real ice cream. It's fucking phenomenal. those are all the main kind of tips. The last one is kind of one that I've already said about the vegetables, is just try to eat more voluminous foods that take you longer to eat. I avoid hand to mouth foods like burgers or wraps because you can eat it so fast. If you have to cut up your food, take your time to the mouth and cut up, and that process of it taking longer is going to make you feel fuller. You're going to have to chew it more, you're going to have to do more mouthfuls, and that will make you feel fuller than the hand to mouth food. So if there's anything you can do to make a food more difficult to eat, like I've used like chopsticks in the past, because chopsticks are even more difficult, you can't put as much food in your mouth in one go, so you have to take your time with it. Like the concept of not eating food while you are watching something. If you just sit down and eat, you take your time with it and you eat it. Whereas when you watch something, you're like scooping it into your mouth while you're watching the TV, and you realise that you eat much faster when you're not really paying attention to the food. You can chew food 20 times. That's actually beneficial for your digestive tract if you chew food more. But again, that makes food take longer, and you'll feel fuller from it. Now I'm just trying to rattle off my head if there's anything else that I do to try and quench hunger cravings. The only other thing is just make sure you've got a goal in sight and you're gunning on it and you're dedicated. If you don't have a goal, if you don't have a deadline, if you don't have a certain weight you want to hit, whatever, you're probably going to struggle. You're probably going to be inconsistent. You need a larger goal, a target, something you're really chasing to actually achieve, because without that you won't stay accountable. Without that you won't stay accountable to the goal. You won't be as dedicated, you won't have a purpose, you won't have as much of a solid mindset. So making sure you've got something locked in, like a weight goal or like a holiday or something like that you can do after, or that you can try and achieve for, really does help, as long as you're realistic with your timelines. You probably won't change in the way you want to in just like 6 to 8 weeks. It probably has to be something more like 20 plus weeks. So allowing yourself to really be focused on achieving an outcome, I think, really helps, because there's definitely been times where I've not had a goal and I've gone to cut and it has not been as successful because I've just had lack of vision for where I'm going with it. So apart from that, my cream of rice is made. Cream of rice is essentially just all carbohydrates, it's blended rice. I've got some honey on top that's melted, and this rice, super fast absorbing, gonna get in the bloodstream really quickly and gonna fuel this workout, this solid leg workout. It's gonna be tough. So yeah, don't let cravings fuck up your journey. Get shredded, get lean, look badass, be confident, be jacked. And I hope some of these tips have helped from years of experience of cutting. It's definitely nothing else. Yeah, there's nothing else. So, peace, have a good day, like, subscribe.